imagine you are working on a file in your system or your phone and suddenly you can't access that file. Maybe it's deleted or it's corrupted and you can't access it. Today we're going to look at 5 things that can affect your data integrity and how to stop them. So as a cybersecurity professional or just as a general user of the internet, these 5 things are what normally makes your data not to have integrity. It destroys the integrity of your data. Integrity in cybersecurity is talking about keeping data trustworthy, keeping data untampered with, unchanged, keeping data accurate. So the first thing we're going to look at is malware and ransomware. So malware simply means malicious software. Ransomware means is a software that is demanding a ransom from you in order for you to access your file. So these 2 things, malware, ransomware, they are softwares that can infect your system and stop you from being able to access your data. It's a kind of software that can get into your system and encrypt your files, or you can get into your software and suddenly you open your file, your data, and you found out that certain things are missing. You're automatically deleting or corrupting, and then you open it, you no longer can read it. It has changed the content of your file. That means your file no longer has integrity, it's no longer accurate, it's no longer trustworthy. So malware can destroy the integrity of your data or of your files. So also ransomware. Ransomware, most of the time when it even encrypts you before it stops you from being able to access your data. It means such files no longer are useful for you, or such data can no longer be used or can no longer be trusted because they've been infected. And how do we stop malware and stuff here? Install antivirus that are good. Install reputable antivirus that can actually stop malwares and ransomware from infecting your system. So antivirus will serve as a guard for those softwares. Whenever they are trying to access your system, the antivirus will either block them, delete them, or send you a warning to take an action. Another way of stopping malware and ransomware is avoiding downloading unknown email attachments. Some of us are fond of just opening any email we found and downloading the email attachments and opening the email attachments. So please stop downloading any email. Stop downloading every attachment that is sent to you, or another very important way to stop you from becoming a victim or stop the integrity of your system being affected is to regularly back up important files. So when you regularly back up your important file, it means in case a malware comes or a ransomware comes into your system and encrypts and corrupts the integrity of your file, you can delete those format your system and restore the restore from backup, because you have a data that has integrity in your backup. So regularly back up your application, back up your files, back up your data regularly. It will help to protect you or prevent you from being a victim. Another very common thing that destroys data integrity in our systems or in our devices is accidentally deleting or overwriting files. So you've been working on a document for maybe 6-7 hours and you are tired, you are not very sharp again, and suddenly you press delete, or you suddenly press something on your device and all the files wipe out. Then you get into trouble because you do not actually even know what you have written. You want to, for example, it could be a minute, for example. Maybe you attended a meeting and you took down the minutes, and then after typing the minute after a while, then something suddenly happens and your minute becomes wiped out. That means if you are going to recall that minute, you can't trust that you are going to remember everything that you have typed before. It means the integrity of whatever you are going to put up again, can be questioned. So the integrity of your files or your data can also be affected by accidentally deleting or overwriting documents. So how do we prevent it? The first thing you do, constantly backup, constant backup or saving of your documents. Another thing is to enable version control. So enable version control is when you save the last known changes, that's the version, a working version of your document, so that if anything happens, you delete or accidentally overwrite your document, you can restore from backup, you can restore the last version of your document that you saved. Another thing is to be careful when you are using shift or delete keys on your devices. So because when you are pressing shift delete or you're deleting anything on your devices, be very careful. Make sure that you're pressing the right thing and make sure you are deleting the right thing, because accidental deletion and overwriting can break the integrity of your data. Another very common thing that breaks the integrity of data in cybersecurity, insider threats or unauthorized changes. So when you have insider threat in an organization, when you have somebody that is about to compromise or that has the intention of compromising what you are doing, or you just have somebody within your organization, within your space that is not happy, or that is collaborating with an outsider, or that is acting as a sabotage to whatever you are doing, such person can easily corrupt. Such person, if you have access to your data, you can go there and change whatever you have had in your data, can change your file. Or in the case of unauthorized changes, when you don't put proper checks and anybody can just enter into your system and delete or change or make corrections to whatever file you are working on. These are ways that destroy the integrity of your data. And how do you prevent this? The first thing you do, setting up access control, is a very fundamental way of checking data integrity. So access control simply means only authorized people have access to data and resources. Anybody that does not have any business with that particular data or file or your asset will not be able to access it. Another way to check file integrity or to data integrity or to ensure data integrity is to use file monitoring tools that monitor the states of your file. So there are certain tools that you can set up in your files so that if anybody is making any changes or anything is happening to those files in your system or data, you can be notified. Examples are things like some SIEM tools, security event and event monitoring tools in soft tools and software can help you do that. You can configure them in such a way that when somebody is trying to make any change to a file within your system, you will be notified. Another way to protect the integrity of data is to enable logging, logging and audit. So logging simply means taking a record of what is going on, keeping a record of everything that's going on within your system. So if you enable logging on your device, so at every point in time you can check the logs and see what went on. The logs will tell you the things or the changes that happened within your system, and this will ultimately ensure your data has integrity. Another very common thing that destroys or affects the integrity of data is hardware failure. Hardware failure is common in here when you have poor power supply. So hardware failure can also be a damage that is caused by maybe an incident that happened, or it could just be an accident, but simply hardware failure. Hardware failure like power outages, when suddenly your hardware becomes inaccessible. So hardware failure can affect data integrity when your hardware suddenly become compromised due to one reason or the other. And how do you avoid this? So ensure that you have a consistent power supply. Ensure you make use of things like uninterrupted power supply. Ensure you have backup power plans so that whenever you are working on your hardware and there's a power outage, there's something that instantly comes up and make sure that you don't lose data or you don't lose the integrity of your data due to power outage. Another thing is to ensure that storage devices are of high quality. Sometimes you save things in storage devices like your hard drive or flash drive, and you think you have saved it, only to get to the point where you need those data and you try to access it and you found out that it was not properly saved, or the hard drive actually is malfunctioning. Ensuring that your storage devices are in good shape is a way of protecting the integrity. And lastly, another way data integrity is often being affected in cybersecurity is what we call the man-in-the-middle attack. So simply man-in-the-middle attack means somebody interrupting the communication that you are having. So when your device is communicating with another device and somebody intercepts the communication and then alters the communication going on between the two devices, maybe by overbloating the message, or changing the configuration of the message you are sending, or actually adding an extra information to it. So man-in-the-middle attack is a very common attack that happens a lot, especially when you use devices in public spaces, or you use a device that is not yours, or you find yourself in an environment where you are not familiar with what is the network setup there. Somebody can easily intercept what you are saying, or can easily intercept the communication between you or your device and another person, and then alters what is going on. How do we stop man-in-the-middle attack? The first thing you need to do, or the first way, a common way that you do, is make sure that the website you are visiting is secure. So when you are visiting any website, ensure that the website start with an HTTPS, which means your conversations, everything you will be doing on such website is secured, is encrypted. Someone that intercepts the information cannot change it. So this ensures the integrity of your data is being protected. Another way is to avoid public Wi-Fi. Simply avoid the use of public Wi-Fi. This will help you to keep your data integrity. It will avoid many individuals from intercepting the communication between your devices and the destination. Lastly, you can also prevent man-in-the-middle attack by using end-to-end encryption. End-to-end encryption simply means that from one end of the communication to the other, everything going on between is encrypted. That is, whoever tries to intercept that communication will not be able to understand the communication. That means the communication has been encrypted and is not done in plain text. And so we have discussed 5 ways data integrity can be compromised. We talk about malware and ransomware, we talk about accidental deletion, accidental deletion and overwriting, and we talk about insider threats. These are all different ways that can compromise the integrity of your data, and you need to watch it whenever you are using this thing to ensure that your integrity is kept in shape. Remember, integrity means accuracy of your data. If you are joining this channel for the very first time, please subscribe and also like and share. And for my returning viewers, thank you for watching. Please like, share. Thank you.